aporte ofensivo que Blake Kelly ha sido halagado a lo largo de esta temporada por su entrenador, todavía sigue sin mantener una portería cero en lo que va de la temporada.
Sí, pues ya lleva 11 goles permitidos hasta ahora en los 802 minutos que ha jugado. Es cierto que lleva 19 atajadas, que te digo, no es un número pequeño, pero es cierto que todavía no ha podido mantener la portería cero en los partidos que lleva jugado.
Vamos a ver si hoy lo consigue Blake Kelly. Notre Dame, que tampoco ha podido mantener la portería cero en el compromiso que no estuvo Kelly en el arco, que estuvo Colin Trevasos. Concedieron un gol, nada que hacer, fue un golazo que le cayó al equipo de Chad Riley ante Trine. Y siguen buscando esa portería cero. Y buscan también el primero del partido, saliendo jugando con Josh Ramsey, que tocó con KK Bafur. El de Ghana toca con Wyatt Lewis. Lewis va más atrás con Ramsey y ordena a los suyos Bryce Bonneau para que Ramsey la cambie completamente hasta donde está Jack Flanagan. Número 11 con la número 5. Precisamente va con el 5 Kyle Gettenbacher. Y ahora la pelota es de Bryce Bonneau. Tocó para Nolan Spicer. Se incorporaba Bonneau al ataque, pero Spicer prefiere ir más atrás hasta donde está Wyatt Lewis. La pelotita es de Josh Ramsey. Buscando a Rue. Parece haber fuera de lugar. Lo pide, señores y señores, el conjunto de Michigan. Y precisamente no se emocione usted. Quédese tranquilo porque esta no cuenta. Fuera de juego.
Pues llevamos muy poco el partido. Pues llevamos muy poco tiempo en este partido ya y podemos ver que hay vulnerabilidades en la defensa de Michigan, ya que se equivocaron 2 veces en 2 pases y no solo eso, pues ya vimos este error grave que si no hubiera sido fuera de juego pudo haber sido un gol muy fácil para el equipo de Notre Dame.
Así es, señoras y señores, pudo haber sido un gol muy fácil para el equipo de Notre Dame, pero no con todavía fuera de juego por parte del máximo goleador de esta división, el máximo goleador de Estados Unidos en su fútbol colegial, Matthew Brook. Ahorita le hace la presión a Evans. Evans se ve obligado a tocar por la banda derecha. Parecía falta ahí de Ferguson. La pelota, sin embargo, sigue siendo del conjunto de Michigan. El que la tiene precisamente es ahorita el capitán Blevins. Blevins toca más atrás y vuelve a organizar los suyos. Busca compañía. Le encuentra con Ramos. JP Ramos, Joao Pablo Ramos. La perdía ahí ante la presión, señoras y señores, Duilio Herrera. Y ahora va más atrás el conjunto de Notre Dame con Blake Kelly. Kelly, el freshman, la manda larga. La recupera una vez más el conjunto de Michigan. Hoy vistiendo de blanco. La presión que llega de Wyatt Lewis. Cae el jugador de Michigan y el referí nos indica que hay una falta sobre Duilio Herrera. Tiro libre a favor de Michigan.
Pues por ahora también estoy viendo una presión muy alta de Notre Dame. Que está forzando a Michigan a encontrar los huecos, lo cual por ahora no puede. Es cierto que ahorita se ha estado pudiendo adelantar un poco. Ahora vemos este tiro libre peligroso para Michigan.
Vamos a ver lo que hace Michigan con esta jugada. Frente al balón está Beto Soto. Frente al balón está también JP Ramos. Pita el referí, se va a venir una ocasión de peligro. La juegan en corto. La pelota es de Joao Pablo. Parecía tocar con Beto, pero prefiere con Buckner. Buckner buscando el centro. La presión que llegaba desde KK Bafur para mandar la pelota a un lateral para Michigan, que lo va a poner en movimiento. Buckner ordena a los suyos. Jason Buckner, que regresa una vez más al 11. Una temporada de Buckner bastante interesante hasta el momento. La pasada jugó simplemente 9 partidos, iniciando en 6 de ellos después de una lesión. Y este partido ha jugado 8, 7 de ellos como titular, 5 goles anotados, récord en su carrera y una asistencia. Aquí la tiene, busca ser participativo una vez más. La pelota sigue siendo de Michigan. Vamos a ver lo que hace Blevins, que le pone un poco de calma, le pone un poco de pausa y la distribuye hasta donde ya la recupera el conjunto de Notre Dame. Pero atención que se confundieron, la tiene Herrera, cae Herrera, otra más, dice el referee. Y esta es peligrosísima, Santi. Otro tiro libre más para Michigan.
Pues mira, hablábamos sobre las vulnerabilidades de Michigan con sus errores. Y aquí
his job. So there's a goalkeeper, Hayden Evans.
And it's a disappointing first effort here from Beto Soto. Doesn't quite get it up and over that wall, but the second volley is actually very quality. In the end, it's straight at Blake Kelly, but really good technique there from the grad transfer to put that one on frame.
Big gloves to fill this season for Blake Kelly after Brian Dowd graduated. Another stellar campaign, and the freshman is really responded well. He was the first true freshman to start the season opener in 3 decades for Notre Dame. Meanwhile, one of the big stories has been the change in goal for Michigan. Hayden Evans steps in to replace Golson. Following those 6 goals conceded, it was really a 10-minute stretch in the second half where it all fell apart for the Wolverines.
But it's interesting, you know, Hayden Evans, a player who we saw early in his career in that starting role, certainly in a battle in preseason there with Isaiah Goldson. And Shaka Daly told us it's been a back and forth battle on the training ground. And you think after you give up 6 goals, that's to be expected.
Well, it's sort of the heart of the area. Michigan deal with the danger, and there'll be a free kick from inside the 18. But Michigan, of course. Cordero here with Patty for Shaka Daly. Meanwhile, 3 changes from Friday's loss to Ohio State, including a change in goal where the senior Hayden Evans replaces Isaiah Goldson. Kamal Brame slots in at center mid, moving Pierre Leroux to the back line, and Duilio Herrera slots into the attacking trio alongside Beto Soto and Oliver Martin up top.
Well, that's right. Several spots of emphasis for Shaka Daly and these Wolverines. Maybe none more, though, than Jason Buckner on that right-hand side. Loves to get forward. Look for him to play a huge role here tonight.
Tonight's head official is Chris Gravas. The final checks for the referee and his crew. Tonight's match is being simulcast in Spanish on ACC Network Extra. Notre Dame students broadcasters JJ Lopez and Santiago Miguel on the call there. Dre Cordero here with Patty Foss here. Glad to have you with us on ACC Network as we are underway from South Bend, Indiana. Michigan coming off of a big loss to Ohio State. It's now a match that Coach Shaka Daly has called a real mental test after conceding 6, taking on a tough team in a tough road trip. They have not won in any of the last 3 seasons here. In fact, the last 3 all victories for Notre Dame, all seeing the Irish score 3 goals.
Well, it'll be really interesting to see here early on, especially, Dre, how the Wolverines come out. Are they able to settle into this game? As you see a very high press to start from Notre Dame, but for Michigan, just want to get back on the pitch, string some passes together and start to get their groove back, because it has been a really promising first half of the season for these Wolverines, and the first real hiccup in that result against Ohio State at the weekend.
First loss this season for Daly's men, now looking to bounce back. Notre Dame also coming off of a defeat 2-1 against Syracuse, one in which Matthew Roux extended his 5-game scoring streak. He's got 10 over that stretch, but that temporary equalizer was not enough to take the victory. One back by Buckner. Michigan, of course, in the white tops. Tonight, Notre Dame rocking the green jerseys. Three across the back for Michigan with Fisher, Miller, and Pierre Leroux, who started the last game in midfield, now slots back into that defensive trio. On the ball now, the Frenchman. It's given away cheaply to Jack Flanagan. Take a look at the keys to the game here. Patty, your keys for Notre Dame.
Well, first and foremost, they have to dictate the pace. We told you about Bryce Bonneau off the top of the show. He is one of, if not the best midfielder in the ACC. His central midfield partner, Wyatt Lewis, they are so good in possession if they are able to dictate the pace. And so that's so important for Chad Riley's men. And then play a complete 90. We really haven't seen that all year from Notre Dame. They haven't had a shutout. They've given up 75% of their goals in the second half. Can they be mentally tough and put in a full performance for the full 90 minutes and get what would be a huge win in the non-conference here?
There's Nolan Miller on the ball. Leroux. Heavy touch that turns possession over to the Irish, who have made a habit of strong starts. They've scored first in 7 of the 10 games this season. 4 of those openers came within the opening 20 minutes of the game. Soto. Bonneau, the captain. There's Kyle Genenbacher. Out of that back 4 for the Fighting Irish in front of the freshman goalkeeper Blake Kelly. Wyatt Lewis in the middle. Long change of flank to find Jack Flanagan on the near side. Patience in possession here from the Irish. Oh no. Lifted forward looking for a rule. He may run out of real estate here. The offside flag comes up and finds the back of the net. It won't count. This moment of panic at the back from Michigan.
Well, nonetheless, so this is really good quality build-up play, and then a fantastic entry ball there from Josh Ramsey, just beautifully feathered in behind. A little bit of miscommunication there between Nolan Miller and Hayden Evans. And Matt Rue, that's what he does. He gets in really good spots, and he's capable of getting in behind there just a step early, but a strong start here in the opening 4 minutes for these Irish.
Seemed to almost lull the Michigan defense to sleep with lateral passing and using the full width of the pitch before striking that long ball forward to a man who is now 13th all-time in goal scoring for Notre Dame and is just one shy of making it into the top dozen. We heard the Patty's keys to the home side Notre Dame. What do you think Michigan have to do in this game to come away with the victory? Ohio State, it's rolled to the back line.
Midfield, look for him to dictate possession for the Fighting Irish.
Well, for Shakadeli, meanwhile, 3 changes from Friday's loss to Ohio State, including a change in goal where the senior Hayden Evans replaces Isaiah Goldson. Kamal Brame slots in at center mid, moving Pierre Leroux to the back line, and Duilio Herrera slots into the attacking trio alongside Beto Soto and Oliver Martin up top.
Well, that's right, several spots of emphasis for Shakadeli and these Wolverines. Maybe none more, though, than Jason Buckner on that right-hand side. Loves to get forward. Look for him to play a huge role here tonight.
Tonight's head official is Chris Gravas. The final checks for the referee and his crew. Tonight's match is being simulcast in Spanish on ACC Network Extra. Notre Dame students broadcasters JJ Lopez and Santiago Miguel on the call there. Drake Cordero here with Patty Foss here. Glad to have you with us on ACC Network as we are underway from South Bend, Indiana. Michigan coming off of a big loss to Ohio State. It's now a match that Coach Shakadeli has called a real mental test after conceding 6, taking on a tough team in a tough road trip. We have not won in any of the last 3 seasons here. In fact, the last 3 all victories for Notre Dame, all seeing the Irish score 3 goals.
Well, it'll be really interesting to see here early on, especially, Dre, how the Wolverines come out. Are they able to settle into this game? As you see a very high press to start from Notre Dame, but for Michigan, just want to get back on the pitch, string some passes together, and start to get their groove back, because it has been a really promising first half of the season for these Wolverines, and the first real hiccup in that result against Ohio State at the weekend.
First loss this season for Daly's men, now looking to bounce back. Notre Dame also coming off of a defeat 2-1 against Syracuse, one in which Matthew Rue extended his 5-game scoring streak. He's got 10 over that stretch, but that temporary equalizer was not enough to take the victory. One back by Buckner. Michigan, of course, in the white tops. Tonight, Notre Dame rocking the green jerseys. Three across the back for Michigan with Fisher, Miller, and Pierre Leroux, who started the last game in midfield, now slots back into that defensive trio. On the ball now, the Frenchman. It's given away cheaply to Jack Flanagan. Take a look at the keys to the game here. Patty, your keys for Notre Dame.
Well, first and foremost, they have to dictate the pace. We told you about Bryce Bonneau off the top of the show. He is one of, if not the best midfielder in the ACC. His central midfield partner, Wyatt Lewis, they are so good in possession if they are able to dictate the pace. And so that's so important for Chad Riley's men. And then play a complete 90. We really haven't seen that all year from Notre Dame. They haven't had a shutout. They've given up 75% of their goals in the second half. Can they be mentally tough and put in a full performance for the full 90 minutes and get what would be a huge win in the non-conference here?
There's Nolan Miller on the ball. Leroux. Heavy touch that Turns possession over to the Irish, who have made a habit of strong starts. They've scored first in 7 of the 10 games this season. 4 of those openers came within the opening 20 minutes of the game. Soto. Bono, the captain. There's Kyle Genenbacher. Out of that back 4 for the Fighting Irish in front of the freshman goalkeeper Blake Kelly. Wyatt Lewis in the middle. Long change of flank to find Jack Flanagan on the near side. Patience in possession here from the Irish. Bono. Lifted forward, looking for a rule. He may run out of real estate here. The offside flag comes up and finds the back of the net. It won't count. Brief moment of panic at the back from Michigan.
Well, nonetheless, so this is really good quality build-up play, and then a fantastic entry ball there from Josh Ramsey, just beautifully feathered in behind. A little bit of miscommunication there between Nolan Miller and Hayden Evans. And Matt Rue, that's what he does. He gets in really good spots, and he's capable of getting in behind there just a step early, but a strong start here in the opening 4 minutes for these Irish.
Seemed to almost lull the Michigan defense to sleep with lateral passing, using the full width of the pitch before striking that long ball forward to a man who is now 13th all-time in goal scoring for Notre Dame and is just 1 shy of making it into the top dozen. We heard the Patty's keys to the home side Notre Dame. What do you think Michigan have to do in this game to come away with the victory?
Well, they need to stretch the game, and what I mean by that is they need to get the ball into wide areas, find the feet of Jason Buckner, of Bryce Blevins, 2 wingers who have been so quality for Shaka Daly all year, really. They're just making so many chances from those wide areas, and then we've seen it here early on the first 5 minutes. Notre Dame loves to play in possession, but if you can catch them on the break in transition, this is a Michigan team that's very athletic, that loves to get in behind, and is capable of scoring goals by doing so.
Wyatt Lewis, the guilty party here. He's whistled for the foul. Set piece opportunity, and as usual, it should be Beto Soto standing over the ball. Alongside him is the sophomore Brazilian João Paulo Ramos. Soto, who spent the last 4 years at Marquette, wanted a change of scenery for his 5th year, and he's not just finding that scenery now with Michigan, but finding the best form of his life. It's flung wide for Jason Buckner to create. Standing his ground with his KK before. It'll be a fun matchup to watch over the course of these 90 minutes, and not just before, but Sebastian Green as well on that left side, dealing with the pace and the creativity of Jason Buckner, the top scorer for Michigan this season.
Well, it'll be a true 2-way matchup, Dre. You know, Seb Green loves to bomb forward from that left back spot for Notre Dame, and yet he's tasked with keeping Jason Buckner at bay. Look for that one here early and often.
Martin with his back to goal, happy to lay it off. The pressure applied by Michigan. They've won it back, and they've won a foul. A set piece opportunity from a promising position for Beto Soto and company.
This is really clumsy from Notre Dame, just in possession. A cheap giveaway leading to Duilio Herrera running at that back line, earning a free kick. And as you note, a really good spot here for the left footer, Beto Soto, to see if he can put it on frame and test Blake Kelly early.
He's on a career-high 8 assists this season. He's had 3 goals of his own as well. He can pick out his options and his spot from this range. But he's left it to João Paulo. No, it's Soto. And the wall does its job. Soto is a goalkeeper, Hayden Evans.
And it's a disappointing first effort here from Beto Soto. Doesn't quite get it up and over that wall, but the second volley is actually very quality. In the end, it's straight at Blake Kelly, but really good technique there from the grad transfer to put that one on frame.
Big gloves to fill this season for Blake Kelly after Brian Dowd graduated. Another stellar campaign, and the freshman has really responded well. He was the first true freshman to start the season opener in 3 decades for Notre Dame. Meanwhile, one of the big stories has been the change in goal for Michigan, as Hayden Evans steps in to replace Golson. Following those 6 goals conceded, it was really a 10-minute stretch in the second half where it all fell apart for the Wolverines.
But it's interesting, you know, Hayden Evans, a player who we saw early in his career in that starting role, certainly in a battle in preseason there with Isaiah Goldson, and Shaka Daly told us it's been a back and forth battle on the training ground, and you think after you give up 6 goals, that's to be expected.
Well, sort of the heart of the area. Michigan deal with the danger, and it'll be a free kick from inside the 18. Here's tonight's official, Chris Grabis. Meanwhile, the man in charge of the Fighting Irish, Chad Riley, now in his 7th season after returning to Notre Dame. He was a standout as a player here back in the Big East days of Notre Dame. Now a standout on the touchline as well.
And Chad Riley really has done such a fantastic job in taking over from the legend Bobby Clark to rebuild this program into what is a national contender year in and year out. It was so interesting when we talked to him this week, Dre, just talking about how he goes about it and the development of players. He's not a guy who has gone to the transfer portal, but thinks about the training ground as his transfer portal. And you just see players, after they come to South Bend, developing into national powerhouses. You know, a guy like Jack Flanagan, who didn't play his freshman year, and yet we're seeing playing such an important role for the Irish here in his sophomore campaign. So Chad Riley, just a really true great soccer coach in the college soccer sphere.
To that point, Patty, it is a challenge for both of these schools, really, given the academic standards set, to really make the most of that transfer portal. Man, it's not just at the sporting level, but at academic level as well at both of these institutions. Flanagan was dispossessed and commits the foul. Here's the roll. Nolan Miller. The positioning of Notre Dame, so many players high up, trying to limit the options for Evans and trying to force him to play long.
Well, it's interesting that you're certainly seeing a very high press from Notre Dame. It's extremely similar to what we saw from Ohio State this weekend, and they put Michigan under a lot of pressure early on and were rewarded in finding those giveaways. So if you're Shaka Daly and this Michigan staff, seeing that high press, can you maybe test Notre Dame over the top just to stretch the game a bit and see if you can create some more space in order to play through midfield as we build into the game?
Before had it poked loose. Here's a look at Shaka Daly. Looking for win number 101. One of the big, really maybe the big win for Michigan this season was against number 36 Penn State. That was one that saw Shaka Daly reach the century mark in victories at the helm of the Michigan Wolverines. They've not won in 4 games since, 3 straight draws before that loss to OSU on Friday night. The Irish making inroads. Green wide. Get that willingness to play the ball back toward the defense, and it doesn't burn the feet of the center backs. As before is tripped up. Free kick for Notre Dame. It was Matt Fisher who committed the foul. And it will be the junior before who drew the foul to take the free kick. Lifted into the heart of the area and stopped with by Leroux. Not quite cleared. Still dropping, it's Green, who's sent it straight into Michigan defender before, now insisting as he dribbles his way into the 18 and tests the gloves of Evans, who answers the call. He might have counted it. I believe the flag is up here. But Evans called into action and closes down the angle brilliantly.
And it's another really good stretch of play here from Notre Dame. The ball just bounces out. This is a tremendous first touch from KK Bafour, just to push it past his defender onto that favored left foot, and then a good effort at that near post, but an even better positioning and save there from Hayden Evans to keep this game scoreless.
They have had some solid defensive performances this season. Not a lot in the way of clean sheets for Michigan. Team that have been very solid, especially in the second halves of games. Before that OSU defeat, they'd only conceded once past halftime in any game this season. Here's Blevins. Joe Paulo. Promising approach now from Michigan. Sprayed wide for Buckner. Option streaking into the 18 as Michigan in search of an opening goal. And before stands his ground to deny Buckner. And off by Brames. Back into the heart of the box. So Leroux made his way all the way forward as the furthest man up the pitch for Michigan, the center back. Long switch of plays, not long enough. Blevins early cross, back post, and only Kelly there to meet it. How's this for a view of South Bend, Indiana, on the campus of Notre Dame? Campus, essentially a town in and of itself. Its own post office. And for Michigan, in search today, the Wolverines of what would be a first victory over Notre Dame since 2019. Mentioned the last three head-to-head beatings all going the way of the Irish. And Notre Dame scoring 3 goals in each. Notre Dame to put the ball back in play. Slipping for a moment was before, and with it went possession. Michigan back the other way with Buckner. And floated into the hands of Kelly. And do join us tomorrow night for ACC volleyball action from Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh, where 17th ranked SMU will take on #1 Pitt. And on Tuesday, October 16th, we'll have 2 ACC newcomers as 5th-ranked Stanford travels to Dallas to face 15th-ranked SMU. Both games available on ACC Network and on the ESPN app. It's an impressive Pitt side, 14-0, perfect on the season. First ever meeting with SMU. A lot of first evers. You're talking about SMU and Stanford and Cal, the newcomers into the ACC.
Well, that ACC volleyball has been so fun to watch all fall. 3 teams inside the top 5, of course, with 2 you mentioned, and Louisville at #4. So some tremendous matchups again tomorrow night.
Ball is puck loose. Look out, it's Soto. And back inside and shedding his marker. Soto, back post delivery is overcooked. Half cross, half shot.
And we haven't seen much from Beto Soto through the first 17 minutes here, but now you're getting a little bit of a taste of what he's capable of, running full speed down that left-hand side. A great cut back there, and then why not have a goal? You haven't had really much of the possession, haven't had much of an attacking flair, and yet there's the grad transfer showing up in a dangerous spot, and ultimately not going to test Blake Kelly, but a real moment of promise there for the Wolverines.
Premier grad of Houston, Texas. He was part of Houston Dynamo's U19 side. Talked about the impressive streak of scoring for Matt Rue. It's an impressive streak for Beto Soto in his own right. He's scored or assisted in 8 in a row. Here's Lewis. Green out wide, inviting Buckner to dance.
Now you see just how deep Notre Dame is pushing Michigan right now. Just all 11 players in their defensive third.
That's plucked out of the air by Peyton Evans. Only played 135 minutes so far this season. He's going to add significantly to that tally tonight. Another play by Nolan Miller, but it did take a deflection. It'll stay with the Wolverines. Your impressions of the way these two teams have started, Patty?
Well, I think you'd have to say advantage Notre Dame here through the first 20 minutes. Certainly they've been able to push Michigan back when they're in possession, but even more than that, this game I feel is being dictated by Notre Dame's press. They've put on Michigan under a lot of pressure as the Wolverines try to play out of the back, and yet Michigan continues to be committed to doing just that. We saw Hayden Evans put the ball down and play it to his center back in his own box, so you got to wonder as we build into the latter portions of this first half, does Michigan try to go away from that possession-based building from the back and take their chances a little bit more over top, just to stretch Notre Dame to relieve some of that pressure? Certainly, Notre Dame has to feel good about the way this game has gone thus far.
It's a foul. So against Notre Dame. Seb Green, the guilty party, in favor of Notre Dame, as Seb Green was the one who drew it. Let's look at the transfers for Wolverine this season, including the veteran Pierre Leroux. Grayson Elmquist is working his way back from injury. Rocky Perez is also working his way back to full fitness, but Leroux and Soto both making an impact. Shaka Daly's men have dealt with injuries. Mentioned Quinn Rogers, Rocky Perez. That's opened up some opportunities for the likes of Kamal Bryan and Joao Paulo Ramos to get maybe more minutes than they expected to.
Well, and they've stepped really well into the roles they've been asked to play. Certainly a few bumps and bruises you'd expect out of any freshman, but especially Bryan working his way into that central midfield spot, and that's the reason that Shaka Daly feels comfortable at playing Leroux at that left center back spot, because he has players, underclassmen, he feels good about in the midfield.
Here's Blevins after it was dummied through nicely by Soto. Oh, it's just over the crossbar. It's the best chance of the game so far. And it comes from the feet of Beto Soto.
And this is where Michigan is at their best, getting the ball wide to the feet of the likes of Bryce Blevins. Blevins does so well, bombing down that left-hand side, cuts it back, picks out Soto, and a good effort in the end from Soto. Does not miss the far post by much. A really promising build-up and chance there for Michigan.
Smash and grab football from the visiting side. Nearly pays off at the would-be opener.
And we talk about transitional moments, Dre, and that's where Michigan can really hit you. They have a lot of speed down both the left and right-hand side in the wing backs, and when they're able to get the ball wide and go fast, they will find chances, just as we saw in that instance.
Michigan trying to build on what has been maybe their best passage of play. Bono. Options to either side for the captain. Picks out Flanagan.
Well, now we've already seen it once straight, but look out for this long throw from Kyle Genenbacher. So dangerous. He's able to put that ball in there on a rope, try to get that first flick, see if the ball will drop it, and find a chance in the box.
It's driven into the edge of the 6. And a shot from a long way out by Wyatt Lewis. It's curling out, but to take a deflection, it'll be a corner for the Irish. Patty, it's not just the distance that he gets on those throws, but the way the ball arrives.
Well, it's just so flat, and it's really, really hard to defend a ball coming in at that trajectory because of, as I say, the flatness of the ball. There's no arc, and he whips that thing in there with so much pace. To be honest, I can't remember seeing a long throw in college soccer more effective than the one you're seeing from Kyle Genenbacher.
Like a shot put into the heart of the area. Before, played short. Lifted over the top, back post, headed down, and it's dealt with by Laurel. Still some defending for Michigan to do. Buckner appeals for a handball. Referee Gravis had a good view of it. Michigan in possession. Here's Soto. And slams into the back of Blevins, but it's a fortunate bounce. Watch Buckner combining with Brame. In traffic is Brame, and he responded well. It seemed to be collapsed on by 3 Notre Dame defenders, and it's Notre Dame back the other way now. And he stretched the Michigan defense. They've got numbers back. Somehow he finds Matty Rue. And smothered by Evans. That's the threat of Rue. There didn't seem to be a lot there, and somehow he finds the angle and gets a shot on goal.
Well, Matt Rue is just so effective when he gets going vertical. That's a tough challenge there in midfield.
First yellow card of the game. So that tough challenge in the midfield. It's given to the captain, Bryce Bono.
And this is a really good turn just in midfield there from Duilio Herrera. And absolutely a yellow card, just a mistimed challenge and a tough one there on the sophomore Herrera.
It's Ramsey, the experienced center back, who picks up the game's first yellow. 74 games he's played for the Irish, 71 of those starts. Here's Buckner. Long switch of play and a good one for Blevins. Isolated near side. He's got Soto inside. Lifted in toward the back post. No trouble for the freshman Blake Kelly. Well, ACC basketball tip-off rolls on tomorrow and Thursday from Charlotte. The annual women and men's preseason media days starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Coaches and players will be giving their interviews with every team and individual team previews right here on ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Notre Dame, by the way, the women's team coming off their 6th ACC title since joining the conference back in 2014.
Coach Ivey has to be excited to get her point guard, Olivia Miles, back from that knee injury.
And ball flighted forward, dealt with by Blevins, who mentioned a two-way player who's got a lot of ground to cover on this near side. Positional changes, a big boost for him. This is a brilliant change of play. And the chance has gone begging for Notre Dame.
Well, and yet again, Notre Dame doing
so much
really
to get
well.
there. But
Yeah, they're just to finish there. Notre Dame does so well there, just to change the point of attack and find the ball in behind on that left-hand side. In the end, Matt Fisher with a tremendous tackle to do enough to poke it away. But as you note, Dre, just a couple now entry passes from midfield from Notre Dame that look really, really dangerous in getting it at that Michigan box.
Lewis. Nolan Spicer. Just enough to get to Matt Rue now on the near side, looking to make things happen. Splits the double team, square ball in, took a little deflection, and has won a corner kick for the Irish, second of the game.
I get a look back just at how quality Matt Rue is with the ball out of space, being very decisive in the final third and running at that Michigan back line. Does really well to win a corner in the end.
Kike before standing over the ball. Outswinger again to the edge of the 6. Buckner who dealt with the threat. More threat on the way, and the fullback Gegenbacher is denied.
Well, now we've seen a couple times the second opportunities coming off of those set pieces. This time falls to Kyle Gegenbacher. He does really well in the turn with his left foot to put that one on goal. But a great save from Hayden Evans in the end through traffic, not only to find that ball, but to hold it and not allow for a rebound.
Back to Bryce Minot. Gegenbacher. Direct approach this time from the Irish. Instead it's direct to Evans. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining in this opening half. A relatively even affair in terms of the flow of the game. It's given away cheaply. A short pitch to counter for the Irish. Lewis. And he's got a good option on this near side with Flanagan. It's pulled back. Flanagan guessed he might have been offside and leaves the ball. Ultimately, the whistle did blow.
Well, we told you about Bryce Minot and what he brings to this Notre Dame midfield, but now we've seen it 2, 3, 4 times from Wyatt Lewis. The vision that he has shown here in the first half to find those slips in behind, just putting together a really quality first half hour is the sophomore Wyatt Lewis.
Asked Coach Shakadeli which players have the highest ceiling on this team, and immediately pointed to Bryce Blevins, who's played such a variety of roles since his arrival as inverted winger at first, center mid, now really finding a spot for himself in this wing back role. Substitution for the Irish. Checking in is Jacob Bartlett.
Replaces
Freshman.
22, Nolan Spicer. And number 16, Jacob Bartlett. Replaces 24, Sebastian Green.
The center back Nolan Miller, who is down for Michigan. Well, here's our Week 7 ACC Network football lineup. We'll have a command center presentation of number 10 Clemson and Wake Forest at noon Eastern, with 4 different camera angles and real-time stats in that one. Then we'll cap the night with Syracuse taking on NC State at 8 o'clock. Those games are here on ESPN, on the ESPN app and ACC Network. Some real concern now for center back Nolan Miller, the junior from Troy, Michigan.
Certainly concern for Nolan Miller, though. You have to say, Dre, if there's one spot in which Shakadeli has some depth tonight, it is that center back position. Of course, he has Will Baker, started all the first 10 games for the Wolverines, who is able to come in. So we'll see here on Nolan Miller, but certainly Will Baker, sophomore, very capable of coming in and slotting right in at that center back spot.
The two changes for the Irish. Jacob Bartlett is checked in relief of Sebastian Green. While up top, Ian Shaw is in for Nolan Spicer. The anchor to that back line, Nolan Miller. This is where he'll have to come off. There's Will Baker, who you mentioned, who's ready to check in. Doesn't look as though it'll be the only change for Shaka Daly in closing minutes of this opening stanza.
But it's a good moment here, I think, for Michigan just to reset. They've been put under a lot of pressure here in the opening half hour. Now an extended period of time in which they've been attending to Nolan Miller. Can Michigan make these changes and then perhaps get a little bit of a spark as we head into halftime? Find possession, find that midfield, break some of those Notre Dame lines, and start to go at the Irish a bit more.
Not all that fluent in body language, Patty, but that doesn't look all that great for Nolan Miller. It doesn't look like a player who's intending to check back into the game in the second half. Seems to be saying his goodbyes. Meanwhile, Nicholas Cassidy is checking into the game. He'll replace Julio Herrera. Will Baker is also come on.
Entering the pitch for Michigan, number 27, Dylan Davis, number 12, Nicholas Cassidy, and number 5, Will Baker.
And Dylan Davis rounds out the trio of substitutions. An injury stoppage has cooled things down. Here's Flanagan. It's a good combination with the freshly checked in Ian Shaw. And Michigan with a more direct approach. Soto could not bring that under control.
And you see Beto Soto just motioning to try to get that ball into space. You don't want to hit him directly on that long ball. See if you can put the ball into space. Let Beto Soto get out in there and just run in behind that Notre Dame back line.
Cross for Ramsey. Before was come a long way back to collect. As Michigan draw the foul, and Wyatt Lewis is the guilty party. Eighth best attack in the nation for Notre Dame. Obviously, the bulk of the goal scoring has come from Matthew Rubin. He spread the wealth around quite a bit. The 25 goals spread out across 10 different players. 23 assists, also 10 different players. And a variety of ways to hurt you, but so far Michigan holding their own defensively. This is Blevins. It's wonderful from Oliver Martin. Hold a play from the center forward. Hasn't had the volume of service that he would like. Oliver Martin, the junior striker who scored in back-to-back games at Rutgers and against Ohio State. Noting they did get 2 goals in about a 5-minute stretch late in that game against OSU.
But you note the lack of touches for Martin, but it's due to the fact that Notre Dame has just been pushing Michigan very deep. So Martin's been asked to do a lot of defending from that center forward role. Can they get him out in space and start to expand this game to get him with the ball at his feet in the attacking third where he's at his best?
Heavy touch that leads to a turnover, and Fighting Irish looking to capitalize through Flanagan. It's a wonderful ball with the outside of the foot, but equally up to the task was Matt Fisher scrambling back to put out the fire.
Well, it's a really good recovery here from Matthew Fisher because, as you know, Flanagan gets out in transition, and it's a 2v2 running at that Michigan back line. Fisher makes up so much ground just to get in there and find a challenge.
Well, speaking of challenge, this is going to be reviewed as Chris Gravis heads toward the monitor. We'll check to see if there's a penalty on this play. With the benefit of a few replays. So it is a penalty being reviewed.
Well, in real time, it looked really well timed there from Matt Fisher just to get a bump here. And for me, there's nothing there, Dre. I think it's well timed from Matt Fisher. He gets his body in front, doesn't really extend the arm, and that would be a very harsh penalty if given.
It's the key, isn't it? Not just the timing of it, but the way he manages to bring his body all the way across, win the position battle. Here's a look at how it looked in real time, Patty.
But again, it's just really well done for Fisher. Get his body in front of the ball and just shield that one to find the arms of Hayden Evans. As we see the decision there from our center referee, Christopher Gravis. No foul and play on, but a tremendous recovery from Matt Fisher to snuff out a really dangerous attack for the Irish.
Just over 10 to play in this opening half. No breakthrough yet. Michigan 0, Notre Dame 0. Once again, Michigan will build from the back.
When you're just seeing so many green shirts in your frame in their attacking half, just forcing Michigan back, unable to find those pockets of space to break the pressure in midfield, forced to go long and give the ball straight back to the Irish.
So a double switch. Let's go Schroeder. Trotting on for the Fighting Irish. So too is Stevie Dunphy. Handful of minutes. Close out the opening half. The rest for Bryce Bonneau, the captain, comes off. So too does Matt Lear. So Schrader in the midfield for Bonneau. And Dunphy in attack for Roux. Now Michigan looking to capitalize back the other way. This is Shaw. Flanagan. Space to create, driving at the defense. Flipped in over the top as before, who's chased it down, gets a head on it, appeals for a foul. Nothing given. Dylan Davis came over to cover.
Well, it's well done, Flanagan cutting inside to find, again, the feet of Wyatt Lewis. That's a tremendous ball to the back post. Ultimately, KK before just can't get onto it. But that Notre Dame midfield has done really well in this first half in picking their spots and putting balls in behind Michigan, asking a lot of questions of that back line of the Wolverines.
Just it down by Ollie Martin. Annenbach. This is Flanagan. Get forward to the edge of the area. Number is back. That's an adventure of a pass that's given away by Fisher, and before could not capitalize. The gift left unwrapped.
Matt Fisher has had such a good first half, but this is a shocker of a giveaway straight to the feet of KK before maybe a little surprised to find himself with the ball at his feet. Ultimately puts the ball straight at Hayden Evans, but maybe the best chance of the half there for Notre Dame, and can't quite make the most of it. Again, KK before.
Notre Dame out shooting the Wolverines 7-4 in this opening 45. It's Pierre Leroux who is slow to get up for the Wolverines on the receiving end of the foul. No shots on target for Fighting Irish, 3-1.
Now you see Leroux just go up and over there. A little bit of a hard challenge and a cruncher in the end with Stevie Dunphy, but back to his feet, and that's got to be a sigh of relief for Shaka Daly, because as we've seen, the Wolverines are already without one of those three center backs here due to injury.
And Nolan Miller limped off in the course of his first 45. Will had some injury problems early in the season. He's back to full fitness now. Fill a variety of roles on the back line and in midfield for Michigan. Davis. Blevins against Flanagan. Paulo Ramos. Do join us Friday for an ACC men's soccer doubleheader. First up at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5th-ranked Stanford will head to Dallas to take on number 15 SMU. Followed at 8 by 12th-ranked Clemson taking on Louisville. Both games available on ACC Network and on the ESPN app. And that doesn't tell the story of what has been a relatively entertaining first half, but following that injury to Nolan Miller, little stoppage that did take the wind out of the sails. Michael Leon checking in to give Oliver Martin a breather in the closing moments of the opening half.
And I think you make a good point there, Trey. That stoppage about 10 minutes ago when Nolan Miller went down really took the wind out of this game on both sides. You really felt like both teams starting to find their way in possession, starting to go at one another. And in the last 10 minutes, it's been very choppy. Neither team really finding the ball and getting those chances through that possession.
Driven into the area by Blevins. Free kick, Notre Dame. Charlie Lawrence has checked into the game for Michigan, replacing Pedro Soto. By Davis. Davis continuing his run forward. The ball doesn't get there. And not just the injury stoppage, but the flurry of substitutions as well, disrupting the connections and relationships on the pitch. A bit more chaotic, a bit less organized.
I think on the Michigan side especially, they really have been unable to put any passes together in that attacking third. And sure, perhaps that's due to the substitution, but they just have lacked a level of composure on the ball when they're able to break the initial lines from Notre Dame. And so as they head into halftime and into the second half, that's got to be a point of emphasis for Shaka Daly. Can they put their foot on the ball, slow this game down, find the midfield, and build through possession and try to start to get at Notre Dame in the second 45.
2 minutes left as the Irish go in search of the opening goal. Shaw. After the pass had been made, Ian Shaw on the receiving end of it. Before to deliver. And plucked out of the air expertly by Hayden Evans. Different approach this time from Michigan. Half of the ball into the midfield, a long ball by Evans. And just shows how effective some of that press by Notre Dame has been in the course of these first 45 minutes, turning the ball over high up the pitch. Ferguson who knocks it down. Ball driven into the path of Jack Flanagan, who will chase it down. Flanagan into the area. Shaw. Plenty of touches in a short amount of time for the substitute Ian Shaw, the freshman from North St. Paul, Minnesota.
Well done there from Shaw to get that ball to the end line, but really good defending from Bryce Blevins, not only to make that tackle, but to push it back off Shaw for the goal kick and relieve some of this pressure.
Once again, Evans will play long.
1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
Blevins, Buckner, and Soto very much the attacking engine of this Michigan side. In terms of creativity, in terms of production. Here's Ferguson. Hennenbacher. Doesn't need a second invitation to get up the pitch, does he? Dunphy. Flanagan. Spell of possession now for the Irish, and passed just above the intended target. Coming up at the halftime break, the RPI breakdown, the resume builders, as both of these teams look to bolster their credentials for NCAA tournament play, as well as the ACC scoreboard. A lot of non-conference matchups, full slate of games
on them in the final third, and that's obviously the objective here, to try to win the game.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Second half underway. It's the Irish moving from right to left on your screen, and just to point out, Shaka Daly has the ideal voice for broadcasting, Patty.
Might be taking my job here soon enough.
We are underway, second half, with both sides looking for a breakthrough. Your standouts in the course of those first 45 minutes?
I think on the Notre Dame side, certainly Wyatt Lewis was likely the best player on the pitch for the Irish. He found really good spots in that midfield, was able to find those pockets of space, and then his service in behind with some of the balls that he played in behind that Michigan back line were some of the best. On the flip side, Matt Fisher, we've talked about him, was getting up and down from that right center back spot, had the one bad giveaway to KK before, but really a couple of good defensive plays. I think across the board, though, both teams really will look for more, especially in their midfield play, to try to build through possession and get at one another.
So the coaches have given their halftime team talks. The tactics will have been adjusted. We'll see what this second half has in store for us. And that first goal is also crucial, particularly for the Irish. They've gone 41 games unbeaten after scoring first. That's a brilliant tackle by Dylan Davis, who closed out the opening half and starts the second stanza. Cassidy. The aforementioned Matt Fisher will roll it all the way back to Hayden Evans. Cassidy to put it back in play. I mentioned in the first half we saw the exit of the junior center back Nolan Miller, the anchor of that back line for Michigan, part of the Columbus Crew's MLS Next Pro setup. Lovely ball. Lifted in for Blevins into the area. Slight deflection. Blevins back post, and it sneaks in to the side net. Straight out of the locker room and onto the score sheet. Bryce Blevins finds the opener, and Michigan has stunned the Irish.
Well, stunned the Irish indeed, Dre, and it really seemingly comes out of nowhere down the left-hand side from Bryce Blevins. He does a really good job with the ball at his feet, going at Notre Dame. A good 1-2 to find his way into that Irish box, and then this perhaps just a cross that ultimately takes a tough deflection and just pops over the head of Blake Kelly in the end. A goal out of nowhere, but you ask questions, you push the tempo, a good ball across with pace, and you're rewarded. And Bryce Blevins finding the opening goal here to put the Michigan Wolverines up 1-0.
Fourth goal of the season for the former Liverpool Academy product. And what a start to the second half of the Wolverines.
Wolverines goal scored by Blevins.
Certainly looked at deflection. And Blevins capitalizing on really his first clear sight of goal from inside the 18. The Irish looking for a response, and it's a wayward cross that will lead to a goal kick. Just one win in 14 visits to South Bend, Indiana for Michigan. But they lead early in the second half. In a game that Shaka Daly called a big mental test for his side, and this will be a confidence boost.
What a big moment here really for both teams, Dre, especially if you look on the Notre Dame side. Probably the better of the play in the first half, felt very comfortable on the ball. Michigan didn't push forward too much, and yet you come out of the locker room, give up an early goal. How does Chad Riley's team respond to that, and can you stick to the game plan? Because there's a lot of time left. Can you be patient and find your chances, take them when they come?
Here's Roux with his back to goal, allowed to turn before who lays it off. Bonneau. Once again, Bonneau pulling the strings for Notre Dame in the midfield. By the way, the assist credited to Soto, and his brilliant run continues. Now 9 games in a row with at least 1 goal or assist for the grad student transfer out of Marquette. And if we held on to Shaka Daly any longer, we might have missed it. A goal very early into the second half. Now has Chad Riley looking for answers. Remember, they had scored first in 7 of their 10 games this season, Notre Dame. Now find themselves trailing. Hit off by Roux. This is Spicer. Managing to hold his balance brilliantly and slip through by Roux. A chance for an equalizing goal, and Hayden with a terrific save to slap it wide, denying Jack Flanagan the would-be equalizer.
Well, this is great interplay in midfield from Notre Dame, just finding the ball in a really good pocket, a good turn there, and then this a fantastic slip from Matt Roux to get Flanagan in behind, and ultimately that's a fantastic challenge from Pierre Leroux just to get a touch on the ball and not allow Flanagan.
It's loose and gathered up by Evans, point blank into the hands of the waiting goalkeeper. And Patty, I'm calling it, it was the mariachi band that breathed life back into both sides for the start of the second half.
Well, thank goodness they did, because this has been back and forth already. The first 6 minutes, hard to sit down, but Notre Dame really pushing the tempo now, trying to find that equalizer.
Here's the roll. Back in possession now, Bonneau. So comfortable with the ball at his feet, Bryce Winnow. He's drafted by Nashville in MLS, taking number 75 overall. And so opted to come back. Out his final year of college. Strong header's not strong enough to clear the 18. Still some defending for Michigan here. Still sends it away. Josh Ramsey picked up a yellow in that first half, the only player booked so far in the match. Fisher shielding the ball from before. Michigan trying to snap a 4-game winless run. 3 draws and a loss to OSU. Ferguson surveying his options. Bono pulling the strings for the Irish. Before. Dispossessed, had his pocket picked. So to João Paulo. That ball did just stay in for Notre Dame, but taken back by Michigan and blasted out of the back by Leroux. Still looks a lonely figure up top, Oliver Martin. Not a lot in the way of service or options around him. Davis. Long strider with a heavy touch. As Ramsey gets it back. And it's poked loose by Davis. Last touched by Michigan. It'll be a throw for Notre Dame. Bono. Slips through beyond Soto. Bono. Was coming back toward it. Connection and possession short circuiting for Notre Dame.
Well, Michigan has done a really good job here through the first 55 minutes of this game and keeping Matt Rhule at bay. They've dropped deep into that block of 4, invited Notre Dame to come at them through possession, not allowed Rhule to get the ball over the top. And so now, if you're Chad Riley in Notre Dame, can you find some more ideas, a little bit more creativity in possession? Perhaps get the ball wide to see if you can get the ball service into the box to find Rhule in different areas, because for the leading goal scorer in college soccer, Matt Rhule, just not enough touches here thus far tonight.
After the 11 goals by Rhule so far this season, next best is Jack Flanagan with 3. And then Spicer and Ginnebacher 2 apiece.
So a little bit of frustration there from Bryce Bonneau as Michigan tries to build out, but Notre Dame has the quality to climb back into this game, and yet we haven't really seen the quality in the final third through possession in creating those chances thus far, and Michigan doing a good job in frustrating that Notre Dame attack.
Before finding his feet and maintaining possession for the Irish as he draws the foul. Taking over the top, scrambling, and there was certainly contact as he made his way into the 18. And he wants him to have a second look at this, and he may get it. As Chris Gravas makes his way. Jack Flanagan was pleading his case. We'll get the benefit of another look.
Well, it's a good early ball over the top from Bryce Bonneau, really perfectly weighted, and then certainly a little tug, it looks there, on the shoulder of Jack Flanagan. Is it enough from Will Baker to get a call there? Although I'm not sure if that's inside the box either.
It would be a tough case to make for denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity. It certainly looks outside of the 18. There was that little heavy touch off the knee of Flanagan. Tried to sell it. I'm not sure that Travis will be buying.
Well, there's several things at play to look at there. A, was Flanagan inside the box? Certainly doesn't look that way. And then B, as you note, denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity with that tug. That's going to be up to the discretion of the referee with the heavy touch from Jack Flanagan. Would he have gotten there before Hayden Evans? Hard to know from the replay there.
Sophomore out of Palos Verdes, California, Jack Flanagan. His father, Joe, was a former pro player and college coach. Head official Chris Gravis has had a good look at this and will stand by the no call.
And I think that's the right decision there from Chris Gravis. Just not enough in there to change the dynamic of the game in denying a goal-scoring opportunity and giving what would be likely a red card to Will Baker.
There's the goal scorer, Bryce Blevins. He's assisted by Beto Soto.
You know, that being said, Dre, video review aside, it's a good idea from Notre Dame that we really haven't seen thus far, that early ball over the top. Michigan has been good in dropping deep and forcing Notre Dame to play in front of them, but the Irish, if they can ask more questions early on in possession, see if they can stretch the game and perhaps get the likes of Matt Rue in behind, that could be a way to climb back into this game.
Some wonderful touches by before the genesis of this play. Rue trying to take on a triple team and was dispossessed. Back the other way comes Martin. And somehow Martin's still in possession. Good build up out of the back by Schrader. Once again, it's Flanagan finding out the defense. Seb Green. Bono was trying to lay that off for before. Hey, Chet Riley should be happy with the response following that 1-0 by Michigan. It's Notre Dame who seemed to have stepped up the intensity in search of an equalizer.
I think that's right, and they've looked composed in possession. As much as they have stepped up that intensity, it hasn't been frenetic in pace, and they've started to push Michigan even deeper than they were in that first half. That being said, with 10, 11 players behind the ball in white shirts, it's going to be hard to break down Michigan once they're set in that low block.
And that low block pays off once more for the Wolverines. Ramsey to collect. Before. Is it taken away by Fisher? Wolverines put the ball back in play. Do join us tomorrow night for ACC volleyball action from Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh. 17th ranked SMU will be taking on #1 Pitt. And on Tuesday, October 16th, we'll have 2 ACC newcomers as 5th ranked Stanford travels to Dallas to take on 15th ranked SMU. Both games on ACC Network and on the ESPN app. '19, the last time that Michigan had a victory over Notre Dame. Only once have they managed to win in South Bend, Indiana. They lead now in the second half, trying to weather the storm and see a bit of a temper boiling over with Bryce Pinot. Referee taking a lenient view of it, and maybe good officiating here to try and calm things down and talk to both players, as opposed to just brandishing the card. Ollie Martin getting a talking to as well.
A little bit of comedy there from the music operator in the stadium. It's getting hot in here.
Oh, it's Hoos And the 18 is misjudged by Evans. Green. Trying to lift it to the back post, didn't quite get there. Green. Shot is deflected and onto the glove of Evans. Able to deny Will Schrader. And a stinging hit from beyond the box.
Well, and yet again, it's a second opportunity. A missed clearance there, falls to Schrader, does really well to push it to his right foot, and then smashes one right at Hayden Evans. Evans does well to push that one over the top.
Since the 1-0 early in this second half, the ball has rarely crossed over that midfield line. All of the pitch seems tilted in the direction of Hayden Evans' goal. Big opportunity for him today after the goalkeeping change made by this man, Shakadeli. And one of the things he talked about in terms of the mental test of this match was dealing with those game moments, whether it's a decision by the referee or things getting heated as they have at times in this second half. After suffering their first loss of the season and giving up 6, this was always going to be a test for the Wolverines.
Well, I think he's got to be so pleased with how his team has bounced back after what was a disappointing rivalry matchup at home to come out, been very organized, frustrated Notre Dame when they're in possession, and then found a way to manufacture a goal early in this second half.
Hennenbacher thought about the shot, thought better of it. Well, doing it on both ends. Bryce Blevins, who comes up with the block. Alongside his assistant coach, Sean Hughes, there, Shakadeli. Long rocket of a throw into the heart of the 18. Davis, who sent it away. Once again delivered. Looking for a sliver of an opening in a crowded 18. And Schrader. No, Seth Green. Couldn't find the angle, a little deflection. On the roll. Managed to keep his composure and deal with the threat. Schrader, it's a wonderful ball for Roux into the 18. Still Roux. And the back heel to no one in particular, and that's dealt with by a crowded Michigan defense. Sent away by Cassidy.
Well, the freshman Will Schrader has really brought something off the bench this game. That is such a good pass, just finessing that ball through the Michigan back line. Ultimately, Matt Roux's touch lets him down, but Notre Dame's starting to find some of those pockets of space to try to get at Michigan in the back line.
Once again into the 18, and it's chaperoned out by Leroux. Operating in the shadows, Chad Riley. So changes coming as we'll see the reintroduction of Jason Buckner, top scorer for Michigan this season.
Michigan substitutions, number 7, Jason Buckner.
Also checking back in is Duilio Herrera, who started the contest.
Number 13,
one change among the starters in attack.
Nicholas Cassidy.
So Cassidy exits. Bring a lot of ground defensively. Hennenbacher. Notre Dame with 11 shots in this game. 6 of those have been on target. Still waiting for the one that levels the score. That's Won back expertly by the defender. Fisher getting involved in the attack. Started across for Brain. Just managing to get there, and it's Delvis now. And Davis just could not react in time. It's gathered up by Blake Kelly.
It just seems like Notre Dame trying to invite Michigan out of that low block, see if they can stretch the game a bit, but Michigan picking the ball off and almost finding a chance there. Now's the time if you're Notre Dame, before Michigan gets set deep, can you go at them and can you do it with pace here?
To the 18, clipped into the middle and slapped away again by Hayden Evans, who's been a busy man inside the goal. He may have more to work with. Here's just outside. Oh, the whistle is gone. The ball on the outside of the net.
And this is a better play from Notre Dame. Very decisive in the final third, going in deep. A good ball clipped across from Flanagan. An effort on goal from Matt Rue. We haven't called his name really all night. He forces Hayden Evans into a save, and then the ball ends up finding its way to KK before we can't put it on target. But that's what I'm talking about, Dre. When Notre Dame gets in possession, can they be decisive and go at Michigan before that Michigan low block is set to try to get in behind it and find chances like the one we just saw?
7 saves now for Hayden Evans in the Michigan goal. Here's Rue. Schrader. And the elbow came up by the freshman Will Schrader, who's whistled for the foul. As you rightfully point out, though, Schrader, since coming on, has really changed the game and changed the attack for Notre Dame.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of malintent here from Schrader, but he does catch just the nose there of Duilio Herrera, and that one is certainly going to be a little bit of a stinger there for the sophomore.
So this is Pierre Leroux to get things back underway for Michigan. Started every game that he's played across 3 colleges. Here at Michigan, U of Indy, and Southwest Baptist. He's playing, he's starting. Not always in defense.
This will be an interesting free kick to see how Notre Dame works this one, because the call from Christopher Gravis, a high kick, and therefore an indirect free kick, so not able to go directly at goal here. So is there a little bit of magic in the training ground set piece to work up here for Chad Riley's men?
Bryce Minot standing over the ball. He's already matched his assist total from last season, 7. He's left it for 4. Lifted in toward the spot and was met by Schrader. Couldn't get his header down.
It's a good ball clipped in here from KK before, and just Schrader goes up to find it. Can't knot that one down on Hayden Evans' goal. But last 10 minutes for Notre Dame, really starting to push the tempo, try to find that equalizer here as we get to the halfway point of the second half.
Kept in by Bucknell, taken back by Green. Ferguson sending it wide for Genenbacher. Covering well for each other defensively, Michigan, trying to limit that space close to Hayden Evans' goal. Compact from the Wolverines. Well, Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, join the ACC huddle crew from Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh as they get you ready for the day with a 60-minute pregame show. They'll also have halftime, pre- and post-game shows throughout the day. Then they're back at 6:30 Eastern to wrap up the afternoon with highlights and analysis. And they'll get you all ready for Syracuse against North Carolina State at 8. After the game, stay right here on ACCN for a post-game wrap-up of all of the day's action. Here's Davis. Switch for Bucknell. Driving at the defense is Buckner as he skips past the second challenge, but not the third. It was Benoit who stopped his progress. Once again, Buckner. Something of a prolonged rest for Michigan's top scorer. Checked in fairly late in this second half. And suspect he'll go the rest of the distance. Had a combined 3 goals his first 3 seasons with the Wolverines, Buckner, but now in a bit more advanced position, playing more aggressive and more maturity about his game. He's found the back of the net 5 times. The action here is
Play is under review.
Chris Grabas is going to head back to the monitor.
Well, some extracurriculars there from Jacob Buckner and Will Schrader. And certainly, I think referee going to the video review here to see if any violent conduct.
We'll take a look at it himself. And we'll get the benefit of a second look as well.
We see this initial bump there from Schrader, and then a little bit of an extension from Jason Buckner. It's certainly silly from the senior, but I'm not sure if you're going to see violent conduct on that one. But it's certainly unnecessary, and why put yourself in that spot if you're Jason Buckner? Just a bump from Schrader, and I certainly would hope not to see him tossed from the game for this, but he puts it in the plate of the referee to make a decision, and a little bit silly there from the senior.
Well, typically you don't get a sending off for annoying conduct. That was more annoying conduct than violent.
And I'm surprised it's taking this long, to be honest, Trey, because it was annoying conduct, as you say. It was not violent, and he shouldn't be doing it, but we also shouldn't be spending our time in reviewing this several times. Let's get on with the game and not kill the flow of what's been a really entertaining second half thus far.
It really has come to life. I'm still crediting the mariachi band. DJ trying to do his part. And Chris Grabas making his way back. And there's nothing in it. Much to the relief of Buckner and the Michigan team.
And it's sort of interesting. He goes to the monitor, he reviews it, decides there's nothing violent in it, and yet there's still no talking to a Buckner like, hey, let's be a little bit smarter, just play on from our referee. So not even a stern warning.
Here's Rue a long way away from goal. Flanagan into the path of Genenbacher. Back on the ball is Flanagan. That's magic to beat his marker. Well covered by João Paulo Ramos, the young Brazilian. Herrera. Oh, he splits a double team. It's a fine turn from Duilio Herrera. Options to either side. He'll take it himself. And the foul after the pass was made. It's Dylan Davis, I believe, who brings down the freshman, Will Schrader. And he'll go in the referee's book as a result.
I'm not sure what the argument there is for Will Baker sprinting down the field to try to make his point heard. It's very late from Dylan Davis, and it's clumsy at the least in going in on Schrader. Certainly a caution and the right decision there from the center referee.
Friendly little chat between the two coaches.
Yellow card to Michigan, number 27, Dylan Davis.
So Davis, the first Wolverine to be booked. And reflecting on last season's 3-0 loss to Notre Dame, Shaka Daly said it was more about the things that they did, the mistakes that they made. Had 2 mistakes, and that led to 2 goals by KK Before and Matthew Roux. 20 minutes left to be a lot happier about the way his team have responded, particularly in the second half tonight. That's a brilliant ball. Flanagan forced to go out wide and overcooks the cross. Seb Green. Here's Schrader. Bono curled into the 18, looking for Roux. Almost for a KK before. Roux once more with his back to goal. Now Schrader. Connecting their pass as well. Outside of the boot. KK before is chasing it down, and it'll trickle into the waiting hand of Evans.
Now 19 minutes to play. Shaka Daly's going to learn a lot about his team in this final 19 minutes because, as you know, coming off that tough loss against Ohio State, but that was a one-goal game with 20 minutes to play. So you see just Dylan Davis finding himself a bit offside. That game against Ohio State got away from Michigan in the final 20 minutes. Now, on the road against a quality Notre Dame side, they have the opportunity to bounce back in a huge way. Can they be mature about the final 19 minutes, see this game out, and find a huge 3 points and a tournament resume builder?
Big win brewing for the Wolverines. I think they can hold on. Fisher. And if they do hold on to the victory, it will have a lot to do with the play of Hayden Evans. Hold on to step in after his team conceded 6 against Ohio State. And he's been plenty busy as he gathers this one up. Blasted out of the back by Evans. It's a kind bounce for Kamal Brahman. Here's Brame. Michigan making inroads, a rare glimpse at numbers forward for the Wolverines. Pedro Soto, who was the liveliest of Michigan's players in the course of the first 45 minutes, has not been seen quite as much, quite as active since the halftime break.
I think you could say that about many of the stars tonight. Just haven't really seen a lot of individual brilliance. Haven't called Jason Buckner's name a lot. Haven't called Matt Rue on the other side. Haven't gotten the ball to Bryce Bonneau. And so both teams really looking for their stars to show up here in the final 16 and a half.
Ball trickles out to Davis, who's instantly dispossessed. KK before. He was fouled after the ball left his feet. This will be a free kick for the Fighting Irish. Quickly restarted with time not on their side. Ball delivered in Roux. Schrader now. KK before. So difficult to get through that massive bodies inside of the 18 for this Michigan defense.
Just an off-the-ball step in front of an oncoming Notre Dame attacker there. Of all the ones we've seen go to have, I was just going to say, Dre, of all the things we've seen go to review in this game, now our 4th review, that one might have the most in it. Now, it's a little bit silly, it's a little bit unnecessary, but that, for me, is a foul and potentially a penalty here coming for Notre Dame.
Key moment with a quarter of an hour left. A penalty review.
And it's Nolan Spicer just trying to play this 1-2 and get to the ball. In the end, Will Baker steps in front of him, doesn't allow him to get to the end line. I do think that that's enough to call a foul, and for me, that's a penalty. It would be an enormously foolish penalty to give away from Will Baker, because the only place that Nolan Spicer's going is to the end line, but we'll see here.
It was a quick look by Chris Grabes, and he saw nothing to change his mind from the original decision. No penalty. Will Baker does step in front, but I'm not sure that he's moving as the Notre Dame player arrives. The arm wasn't necessarily extended.
Yeah, and I think it would have been slightly harsh, but it's an unnatural place to step in front there from Will Baker. He's not making a step towards the ball, and so for me, that's where I would have seen a penalty in it, though I certainly am fine with no call, because, again, that ball's going to the end line. There's not a play on goal, and it would have been a harsh penalty. But I think if you're Will Baker, you can't leave that one up to the center referee, although the guy's gone to the video review 4 times, and we're 0 for 4.
And number 8, Rocky Perez.
Here's Jacob Bartlett. It's flung out of the back by Mitch Ferguson. Long diagonal switch, maybe a little too long.
Notre Dame substitutions, number 6, Wyatt Lewis.
So Wyatt Lewis checking back into the game. He'll replace Schrader. Number 18, Zach Martins from Gainesville, Florida, checks in for Michigan as well. He is stepping in front of it and turning defense into attack now for the Wolverines. Soto out wide. He's contained by Denenbacher. This is Wyatt Lewis. Ooh. Steps beyond his initial marker. This is Seth Green now looking for the angle. Green! Did that take a slight deflection? It's sailed over the crossbar. And Jason Buckner doing just enough in defense. And with time winding down, a chance to take a look back at what is potentially the decisive moment of this contest early in the second half. Soto, the chip over the top, and the blood hits the would-be game winner.
It's a little bit unfortunate in the end, just a tough deflection off of Mitch Ferguson to pop this one over Blake Kelly, but really good interplay from Beto Soto and Bryce Blevins to find the opportunity and make the most of it early in this second half.
Roll. Mentioned Rocky Perez was working his way back to fitness. He's projected at the start of the season to be one of the consistent regular starters on this team. He's been dealing with injuries and making his return now to the Wolverines midfield. Sebastian Green. KK before. It's given away straight to Michigan. Wolverines happy to take a little air out of the ball. Here's Green. Brahmu sends it back. Possession has been short-lived for Michigan. Bono. Crucial 10-plus minutes ahead for Notre Dame as they fight to try and find an equalizer in the late stages on home soil. Facing the prospect of back-to-back defeats for the first time this season. Driven in toward the spot, looking for Rue. Fisher trying to force his way through, and Michigan just seemed to have one direction. They want to go forward. A little willingness to step on the ball and starve the opposition of the ball.
Well, I think they're expending so much energy in defending, especially after finding that first goal, that when they do find the ball, there's not a lot of composure and not a lot of players looking to find that pass that sort of simmers this game down. So a frenetic pace from Michigan. That being said, 10 minutes to play, and they've done a really good job on the defensive side, not allowing Notre Dame to find that interplay in and around the box and find those combinations that we've seen from them so often this fall.
Tend to spend significantly more mental and physical energy when you're the team that's not in possession. All the way back to Evans, working on this shutout. The Irish have the quality to get themselves back onto the score sheet.
Well, they certainly have the quality, and you know, it's interesting when we talked to Shaka Daly earlier this week. He talked about Matthew Rue and the quality that he possesses, and the fact that you might not hear from him all game, and then he's capable of finding that one moment, that one special moment to put his stamp on that game. Well, we're 81 minutes into this game, and the nation's leading scorer really hasn't had any part to play thus far this game. Can he find just that one vital moment to get Notre Dame back in this game here in the final 9 minutes?
One shot from Matthew Rue. One of the 15 provided by Notre Dame in this contest. They have peppered Hayden Evans' goal. His 5-game scoring streak on the ropes for Matthew Rue. Much more important though to win the 3 points. So will be Blake Kelly. I haven't mentioned him not so much. He's been a spectator for long stretches of this game. Not sure that much of the blame, if any, would land at the gloves of the freshman goalkeeper for Notre Dame. The deflection really in the second half that broke the deadlock.
Certainly unfortunate, just that deflection finding its way to loop over the top of that freshman goalkeeper. But yeah, you're right. That was the one chance really in that we've seen on goal, at least from Michigan, and they found a way to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, Notre Dame with an attacking chance here on a free kick. Can they set it up the right way? Can they put some of the big boys in the box? 6'4" Mitch Ferguson, find the head of some of those targets and perhaps manufacture a chance on goal through a set piece.
So they're taking a look at the clock here and potentially adding a few more seconds on. It's at the 8:40 mark. He's kicking before waits to deliver his free kick. No change of the clock yet.
This game has had a choppy pace straight, but I'll tell you what, our center referee, Chris Gravis, has done his part in making it even more choppy, because of seemingly we seem to have all these stoppages just to take 3 seconds off the clock. It's something to be said for that.
Waste a handful of minutes. That ball is lifted in toward the penalty spot. It's loose. And sent away by Blevins. Green for KK before. And ball driven to the edge of the 18. Evans is out to collect. He's been solid in the air today.
Well, Hayden Evans has had a really good day in between the pipes for Michigan, a guy who, as we noted at the top of the show, inserted as the starter after that 6 goals given up against Ohio State, and has made his case to stay there. A guy who started his first 2 years and now finds himself deadlocked in that keeper battle. Look for him maybe to be the starter moving forward.
Michigan maybe adds to their lead here. It's lifted in toward the near posts. Kid before on the near side now. Left something behind. Rocky Perez was there. And it's before who's won it back. Bucknell just getting in the way of the pass. It'll be a throw for the Fighting Irish. ACC basketball tip-off rolls on tomorrow and Thursday from Charlotte. The annual women and men's preseason media day starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Coaches and player interviews from every one of the teams and individual team previews right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. If it stays like this, Patty, what does this result mean for Michigan going forward? What does it mean for Notre Dame?
I think it's a massive result for Michigan off the top to really get one of those signature wins that has evaded them thus far and likely cements their place in the NCAA tournament, barring a complete meltdown at the end of the season. For Notre Dame, though, it really is going to put a lot of pressure, if it stays like this, on 2 matchups, because they don't have a lot of opportunities to bolster that RPI in the final 5 games. And it's going to be North Carolina coming to Alumni Stadium right here this weekend. That's an opportunity to find their way into really that top 40 of the RPI. And then the final day at Duke. And you certainly don't want to leave it to the final few games to find those NCAA tournament caliber wins. So in the last 6 minutes, can Notre Dame push the tempo and perhaps salvage a tie or find a winner here?
In search of the equalizer now, and they'll get a throw out of it. Quickly in play. Delivered into the heart of the box. The header by Rue. Could not get it down and toward the legs of Hayden Evans. Michigan will be in no rush to get things back on their way.
It's a good ball to the back post here. Ultimately, Matt Rue looks like he doesn't quite see it through traffic and can't quite get that one on goal with any pace. Just yet again, another half chance for Notre Dame, though. Michigan bending, not breaking, not allowing Notre Dame to find those really quality chances in the final third.
Here's Genenbacher. It's turned over, but bailed out by the whistle. Quickly restarted. And taken back, looking full of energy on the final stretch. Zach Martins, who only checked in for the last few minutes or so. He's done all of his work off the bench this season. His 4th appearance, a combined 32 minutes. What a truth for Notre Dame. Rue from the edge of the area. Seth Green collects Rue, poked through KK before and sliding in. What a moment. Poked loose was the Rocky Perez who got on the end of that. Delivered in again to the edge of the 6-yard box this time. Leroy was there to deal with the threat. Limping slightly is Rocky Perez, who is making his way back from injury. Now lifted in once more. It's nutted wide by Bucknor. Bursting his lung to get there. Herrera. Everything desperate to get the ball back, and they have done. Just look at the number of white shirts inside of the 18. It's not just these final few minutes. Most of the second half has looked like that. Irish continue to look for the equalizing goal, and that stings the gloves of Evans. Disappointed with his defense.
Oh, stings the glove indeed. It's a good cut inside there and under the left foot. That ball looks like it's headed straight for that near post upper 90. But yet again, as we've said so many times tonight, Hayden Evans up to the challenge to deny Flanagan.
Once more, they leave it loose inside of the 6-yard box, sent away. A weak effort bouncing toward Leroy. Notre Dame will get another corner kick out of this. KK before, quick to deliver. Outswinger to the near post. Back in toward a crowd, and the offside flag comes up against Notre Dame. It's Nolan Spicer. Had a couple of good chances in this game, Jack Flanagan, from range. Evans has been up to the challenge. 6 corners in this game from Notre Dame, none for Michigan. Michigan looking to pounce now on the counterattack. It's blasted over by Duilio Herrera. A chance to put the exclamation mark on the result. Lewis. Still life in Notre Dame. And Fisher has made his way through. He's in behind once more. The defense is stretched. It's Fisher! And Blake Kelly, who's not had much of a save to make, does deny him there. And a second time to deny Herrera.
Well, Michigan just knocking on the door. 2 breakaways right in on Blake Kelly's goal, back to back. And Blake Kelly up to the challenge, up to the task to keep this at a 1-goal game. But now Michigan with a corner looking to slow this game down. The freshman Blake Kelly does so well to come out and cut this one down. And then to make the second effort, cut down the angle and not allow Duilio Herrera to put that one on frame and ice this game. Now you're going to see Michigan look to put the ball in the corner, see if they can then ride out the last 41 seconds and get a huge win here on the road.
Kick it before is instantly taking it back and flighted it forward. It's given away by Martins. Here's Green. Well, there to intercept, and he'll send it back. Forcing Kelly to chase, desperate to find another ball to put back in play. Only seconds remain.
10, 9,
Chad Riley's face is a think piece.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
And that is a statement win for the Michigan Wolverines.